Well, at least they waited until the fourth eviction to start voting out the hot girls for once. Hello everyone, this is Dan the Man. Well, I don't like who went home, but this was an exciting and suspenseful week, and it reminds me why I love Big Brother so much. Not as much to cover this episode, since I covered up to the nominations and roadkill last video, but I will give my quick thoughts on the veto. Bridget is proving to be a force in challenges, winning both HOH and veto this week. Had it not been for the roadkill, she and her spy girls would have been sitting pretty this week, even with Bridget in Frank's pocket. I'm sure Bronte wishes they had used the veto now, but as she said, they decided that if they used it, Natalie would have almost surely gone up, and if both were safe, it was unnecessary to do. Bronte might not have been as certain of the decision had she known what Natalie kept from her about Frank winning the roadkill, which she kept to protect James, but Bronte was graceful about it, and I respect her going out with class, despite being largely blindsided. Which brings me to why Bronte went home. As the episode showed, the house guests had flip-flop on who to get out pretty much since nominations were finalized. It was kind of bizarre because everyone kept giving valid reasons why Bronte should go instead of Tiffany, seeming to believe those reasons, and then ultimately deciding to go with Tiffany anyway, in large part because Paulie seemed so dead set on getting rid of Tiffany. So what changed? Well, late Wednesday night when asked who she would put up, Bronte said that she would probably put up Zakaya and Paulie. Breaking up a showmance is not a bad idea, but as you can probably guess, it was not the answer the majority wanted to hear. That set in motion a plan to split the votes to throw Frank off, but ultimately vote out Bronte, that we saw play out. The truth is, Bronte was largely done in because, once again, an all-girl alliance with potential let guys distract them. Both Bridget and Natalie knew that Frank put Bronte up, but neither told her to protect Frank and James, the two guys who told them. Even though Bronte knowing probably wouldn't hurt them anyway. Had Bronte known, she likely would have said she would put up Frank, and given how it was going until then, they probably would have been enough to keep her in and vote out Tiffany. While not meaning to, her Spy Girls alliance indirectly sent her packing by not giving her vital information, because they decided to protect the guys they were hanging on to, which they felt were more important than Bronte. Would they have told Bronte had they have known what would happen, and that Tiffany wasn't as sure of a thing as they thought? Maybe, but they didn't, and Bronte paid for it. Part of the reason that girls win so rarely at this game, and that all-female alliances have so far never worked, is because girls who go on BB so often seem to throw their girl power out the window the minute a guy with his shirt off starts to warm up to them. Yes, it helped Jordan win, and at least her second time around it didn't cost Rachel to win, but it has hurt a lot more than it helped. Don't think Season 3 winner Lisa didn't get a huge favor done for her when her boy toy was voted out early on. The Spy Girls had potential. I actually thought that if they could survive until the battle back winner, one of them could take it all the way, despite their weak start. But Natalie and Bridget both got distracted by guys, and it will likely cost them all. Like it sadly cost the one member who didn't lose her focus. And over the other all-girls alliance, Nicole and Zakaya pretty much abandoned it, as their main focus is turned to Corey and Paulie. To be honest, even as a straight male, I get the appeal of those guys, but it also shows Nicole has learned nothing since last time. If girls truly want to win Big Brother, and bridge the huge gap between male and female winners, they need to remember that they will have hot guys paying attention to them once they get out and are BB celebrities, and not lose their focus in the house over guys. Because starting out, I was sure a girl would win this season, and it looked that way when 3 guys went out in a row. But cattiness and googly eyes are once more making the girls turn on each other and screw each other over. And if this continues, by this time next year, we'll be saying how a girl has only won 5 times in 18 seasons instead of 17. But all that aside, was Bronte the right choice? Well, that is a tough one. I'd said they would be smart to get rid of Bronte when I did my last video, and she was a bigger threat at the moment, it seemed. But at the same time, they once again let Tiffany go when they could have taken her out. And keeping her around to get out Frank meant nothing, as Frank is now safe anyway. It may have saved them in the sense they have an easy out with Tiffany now, since she is still around, but with Frank safe and Paulie having little choice but to at least listen to his ideas now, since he can't do much about him, it could mean a lot of trouble. Trouble they would not have if they had voted Tiffany out and let Frank and Bridget still think all things were going well. And also, I keep saying this, but Tiffany is way too much like her sister. I don't think this group will let her bull and strong-arm the way they let Vanessa last season. This isn't as passive a collection. But now that things stop going her way, Tiffany's likely to make the rest of her time with her a long one, and that kind of unpredictable hurricane they don't need. Last season they had Vanessa vulnerable more than once, and every time they passed her up for bigger fish to fry, sure they would get her next time. But when they finally ran out of bigger fish and decided it was Vanessa's turn, next time never came, and Vanessa played a huge part in everyone else going, right up until her luck ran out in the final 3. They're leaving themselves open to making the same mistake again by constantly not taking out Tiffany when they have the chance. Yes, Bronte said she was not gunning for Frank, but if they told her who the roadkill winner was, I'm betting she would have changed her mind. Then they would have had the same number of people wanting Frank out, and one of them would not be a basket case. So while Bronte was not a horrible idea, they're playing with fire leaving Tiffany in, so time will tell if they get burned for it. So on to the head of household. Polly was a surprise. I think he planned to throw it once Frank was out, so Frank would be vulnerable, but he never had the chance. I was sure he was going to throw it once it was him, Nicole, and Frank, since he was safe if Frank won, and Nicole would not put him up. But I don't think any of them actually knew the answer to the last one and just guessed, so he might have meant to throw it, but took the wrong 50-50 guess. So who will go up? Well, that's a tough one. Had someone on Frank's team won, it almost certainly would have been Frank to go home, with Bridget collateral damage if Frank won veto. But thanks to Polly's win, they're both safe, so the 2 easy choices are not an option. It also seems very unlikely that Polly will want to target Nicole, Zakea, or Corey, since they're in his main alliance right now. Polly has made it clear he wants Tiffany out sooner rather than later, so my first guess is he'll go after Tiffany. Devon, however, does not handle it well when things don't go her way, which they're currently not about to go her way, so she might lose it and make herself a bigger target. So it's quite possible that Tiffany will be saved by Devon's own irrational behavior. But as it stands now, I would assume Tiffany will be the initial target. If she goes off, however, the name Devon might come back up, so Devon better mind her P's and Q's. Not sure who will be the initial nominee. Polly did a backdoor for no reason last time, so since backdooring someone would be more logical, he'll probably do it again this week. So I actually think James and Natalie might go up initially, but neither will be the actual target. The roadkill is a big X factor, but regardless of how it goes, I think come Thursday, Tiffany will be on the block and likely to go home unless she wins the veto competition. One thing is for sure, if Tiffany survives again this week for any reason other than winning veto, the house guests deserve whatever hellstorm that'll likely bring on down the road. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back next week with thoughts on the next eviction, plus the Battle Back episode.